is the place we're going to be playing today. Our character here is a peasant leader, and we're going to take his new formed dynasty to the moon. Now Bam is a super interesting place to start, as we're completely surrounded by this huge kingdom of Saffarid. We're right smack dab in the middle of the Iranian intermezzo, and we have an incredibly interesting religion and culture that will help us accomplish my two main goals. Create an incredibly powerful high development duchy as if we were playing tall, while also expanding to create the Empire of Persia. Later we'll be waging infinite kingdom-sized holy wars using the by the sword tradition, which removes the once per lifetime limit, so stay tuned for that. Our culture, Mashriki, gives us some pretty good tenets, specifically the dryland dwellers, which will give us development and reduce building costs in drylands or desert, which is all over the place. It also includes the philosopher trait, which will give us learning experience, which again is great for tech-focused tall gameplay. Finally, we have the amazing Mubarazan tradition, which will let us create these really powerful heavy infantry men-at-arms. Our religion is even more interesting. Not many people follow this faith, but Azrakism is an Islamic religion that believes there is no worthy successor to Muhammad. They believe that it is their right and duty to conquer any leader that does not uphold this belief. This will let us use holy wars against other Muslim faiths. There are two other parts of this religion that are super useful. We have the warmonger tenet, which will give us an automatic casus belli on every neighboring ruler. This religion also has the lay clergy doctrine, which will let us hold temples ourselves, which I'll explain more about later. Before we get into the video, I just want to say we hit 1,000 subscribers, which is pretty awesome, so thank you all so much. But if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Most people watching aren't subscribed, but it really helps out the channel. We also have a Discord server for the community, and the link will be in the description. As cool as starting in Bam is, we will be much better off moving to a new area. There's this county over here with higher development than the surrounding area. It's because this duchy has a special building that greatly increases taxes, development, and grants you extra devotion impact. Devotion is what you get when your piety goes up, but it does not go down when you spend it. Having a higher level of devotion lets you call bigger holy wars, which is all part of the plan. Just based on the numbers, this war will be super easy. And hey wait, if we're a one county nation, how do we have so many troops? Well, you see, our awesome leader, who's an incredible general by the way, also starts with an army of 2,000 special soldiers. And we died of injuries sustained in battle. Okay, well, that's not good, as our character was great. We did manage to win the war at the same time, so I'll enforce my demands to take the Sheikdom of Isfahan. I will be moving my capital here as well, but I don't have any control, so the extra 1 gold for having it as my capital would be lost, so I'll have to do that later. This county has some pretty good buildings for heavy infantry, which is nice since that is the main troop in our army. Our new character is actually a steward, which would have been great if we were able to conquer more land with our other guy, but we'll have to work with what we have. I got married to a giant and my child inherited the trait. They are a daughter, but unlike most games, that doesn't actually matter since our religion has equal inheritance rights, which means titles will be passed to both sons and daughters. I was increasing the development, but I'm actually going to switch that to promote our culture. Culture effects only apply to counties that are of that culture, so to get our extra development growth and reduce building costs, we will need the county to be converted. Since this is going to be our main county, I'm going to upgrade these buildings whenever I can. So I just defeated a peasant uprising. And whenever you do that, make sure to check the leader stats, as oftentimes they have incredible commander skills and can be recruited to work for you. I'm just about to get enough prestige to increase our crown authority. I'm doing this so I'll be able to revoke titles. Inside our new county here, we have a temple holding currently making 0.23 gold, but that will increase when we get the control up. Since we have the lay clergy doctrine, we can revoke this temple from our vassal to hold it ourselves. Now we will get all of this temple's money instead of only getting a percent. This Duchy of Isfahan will be where we get all of our power. We don't have a high enough devotion to go for the entire duchy in one war, but since we get a huge bonus to devotion from our special building, we might be able to get enough in one pilgrimage. Let's see, we could take the Hajj to Mecca for pretty cheap, and it'll give us a lot of piety. We have this pop-up where we might get ill, and unfortunately it looks like we now have pneumonia. And we've died from our illness in the middle of the pilgrimage. We're now a giant 7-year-old girl, who's also not doing great medically, but hopefully since we're young, we will be able to survive. Okay, we've made it back home, and we have good health again. It would take a long time for us to be able to start claiming full duchies, so I've settled on going for just one county. The special soldiers don't replenish when they die, but they also don't stand down on succession, so we are able to still use them. The enemy left behind this poor 100 men to fend for themselves.
I'm in danger!
And with that, we've won our second war. And in this one, we didn't even really have a battle. Our capital is already making 3.19 gold, and it mostly has military buildings. In my other counties, I'm going to focus on development growth and gold income. This castle already has quains, so I'm going to build farms and fields as it provides the most gold. Now that we have these two counties, it is time for step 2 of my master plan. This county that we just took has the Persian culture, and the goal is to form a hybrid culture. The Persian culture has what is essentially the same tradition as the drylands experts one that we have, as it also gives development growth and reduced building costs in dryland and deserts. If we stack these two traditions, we will get huge bonuses to our development. On top of that, the Persian culture also has the garden architect's tradition, which gives access to a new building, but more importantly, adds a new overpowered court position, the court gardener. Court gardeners grant extra development growth in the capital of a realm. Now all we have to do is promote cultural acceptance and wait for it to get high enough to form a hybrid culture. Our neighbor's land broke up, and there's now this one county state just south of us that we can declare war on. Unfortunately, we are unable to declare a conquer county war as the current struggle phase doesn't allow it. So instead, we will call a holy war. Holy wars are more risky as nearby counties of the same religion can join our opponents and help them in the war. In this case, we were able to quickly siege the capital without any trouble. I'm continuing to revoke the titles from the owners of these temples in order to hold them myself, as you can just make so much more gold this way. Now that we have these 3 counties, I'm able to create the Duchy of Isfahan, which I will be turning into the best duchy in the world. I'm above my domain limit, and normally I grant away land to vassals of the same culture and religion as me, but in this case, I will grant this land to a Persian. As you can see here, having a vassal of another culture increases acceptance. We've become an adult, and we were blessed with the mastermind philosopher education, which will greatly increase our research speed due to the learning cultural tradition we have. I'm going to go straight into a scholarship focus to continue the development growth we are pursuing. Our domain limit has gone down, but what I can do is marry someone of really high stewardship skill and set them to manage domain, which, look at that, will give us a whole 3 more holdings. I can now take these temples to hold all of them myself. In the temples, I'm able to buy the same economic buildings that I have in my castles, which will just continue to increase my gold output. I was minding my own business, upgrading my buildings, when these dummies declared war on me. They have more troops than me, so I'll need to be strategic. There's no good alliances, so it'll all be up to me. Was I going to let this lesser developed heathen take my homeland, or would I stand strong against the tyranny presented before my people? They want to fight, but I want to make sure the battle takes place where I have an advantage. And then the war ended. I wasn't sure why I was no longer able to be made into a tributary at the time, but I now suspect it was an act of God, proving that I was following the most righteous faith. I'm getting this perk open-minded, as it gives me plus 20% cultural acceptance gain. We're at 14% and gaining 1.24 per year, which means it'll probably take around 20 to 30 years to merge. While I wait for that, I'm going to continue expanding to take the final county of the duchy. We now have a unified duchy in what will become Persia. Once again, our northern neighbors declared war with the goal of turning us into a tributary. We were saved by our god last time, but only a fool would expect that kind of grace a second time. Men-at-arms cost much less to create as a result of the struggle's current phase, so I'm making as many Mubarazan troops as I can. These guys made the mistake of attacking without their allies. I could try to siege this castle, but I think it would be much smarter to try and play defensively. I'm taking a fight as they've crossed into our territory. Oh, what? Okay. So the Saffarids have joined, and they took our original county, which has brought the war score way down. I'm not gonna lie, guys. We might be screwed. Thousands of men are crossing my borders to invade my land. I'm attempting to hide away in the mountains, but I fear that it will not be enough. There's no chance in victory, so I'm gonna try to run away. A group of men tried to stop our retreat. Wait, we captured the enemy leader. Let the unbelievers cling to their worldly power. We stand with Allah, and that is enough. With luck like that, there is no chance God is not on our side. I was in the midst of expanding our realm when once again war was brought to my nation. Now I am no fool. Once is lucky, twice is a sign. 3 will be the undeniable proof of my good fortune with God. They are going straight for my capital, and even though they have more men, my higher quality army and defender advantage should help me get a victory. And I was right, we were able to win the first battle. They tried to take a castle, but I scared them away. Instead of chasing, I will continue to play defensively. Then, the third sign of a true god came before me. My opponent in the conquest war was offering me peace, and they were willing to offer hostage in exchange. I wasn't going to look at a sign of God and turn my back, so I accepted the peace treaty to put all my focus on the defensive war. The enemy ran away, so I decided it was time for me to finally attack. I took a castle, but the enemy is nowhere to be found, so I think I'll just win. And once again, I was able to defeat the invaders with the help of my god. I'm using the money I got from ransoming the hostages to upgrade my buildings even more. I'm currently getting 12.3 a month, and I'm wondering how high we can get. The acceptance with the Persian culture is getting closer and closer to the required 40%, and it should only be a few more years now. My fame has reached illustrious, so I can now use the conquered duchy casus belli, and my first target is going to be borrowed to my south. If I win this war, I should have enough counties to create the Kingdom of Persia. My vassal was lying about his tax income to send me less money. Kill every sorcerer, for this is the punishment ordained by Allah. I was just able to scare off the enemy attacking my capital with my men-at-arms, while my levies continue to take their capital. I'm doing the same thing with the second castle too. And with that, we're able to win the war, doubling the size of our realm.
Nice.
We've hit the acceptance threshold needed, and we can now form a hybrid culture. We're going to be unlocking 4 technologies, which is super good, and I'm especially happy to get onagers, as it took me forever to take castles in that last war. We're going to keep the dryland dwellers, and we're going to add irrigation experts, which is basically the same thing, so we just get double the bonuses. Then both Persian and Mashriki have a learning tradition, but I'm going to go with the Beacon of Learning, as it has all the same stuff, but just a little bit more. I'm also going to add the Garden Architects tradition, as it will give us development growth as mentioned earlier. Now between the 2 men-at-arms, Fudawa and Marbarazan, I believe Marbarazan are better, but since I already have a stack of them, I'm going to go with Fudawa, because I think it would be more fun that way. Changing the tradition doesn't get rid of any troops that you already have, so I'll be able to have stacks of both these unique heavy infantry troops. Our Neo-Persian culture is created, and now that I'm the culture head, I will be able to pick which tech to research. We're also super ahead of schedule now, and we will reach early medieval super soon. This county here has this cool lake building that I kind of want to keep for myself. There's also this cool tomb building that has some nice effects for the holder. What I'm realizing is that this Middle Eastern region has a ton of special buildings like all over the place, and I think it's really cool and adds a lot of flavor. I expanded my military, so I now have a full stack of both our special heavy infantry units, a stack of camel riders, and a stack of onagers. I finally have enough money to officially create the Kingdom of Persia. As a king, we can now create an accolade, and I was able to create one that increases heavy infantry damage, which is perfect for us. Now remember, this is just the Kingdom of Persia. Our goal is to create the empire. We will need to conquer much more land for that. With my superior military, I stomped our western neighbor and took another duchy. I took a few smaller counties in the north, and now we're starting to look pretty big, except not big enough. We now have 2 massive nations on both sides, so the odds are stacked against us, but I must remember, to doubt is to step from the light into the darkness. Faith admits no shadows. What's interesting about this area of the map is that everyone has the clan government type, which is similar to feudal but has some important differences. Vassals get taxed in a different way than involves tax collectors. You can change the tax decrees to grant different bonuses. Like here, the gold taxes go way up, but it makes everyone hate you. Now that we are in the early medieval phase, our culture is able to establish another tradition. As mentioned earlier, there is only one correct choice for this open slot, and that is the By the Sword tradition. Most of this stuff doesn't matter, but the fact that it lets you declare multiple kingdom-sized holy wars is fantastic, and is going to be our main tool for conquering the Middle East. We're at 2300 prestige, so we will need about 3000 more. Our character here is 51, but we have so many positive health bonuses that we should live way past that point of reaching 5000 prestige. The first new tech we're going for is manorialism, as I want to construct my duchy building. There's these itty bitty nations up here that I'm sure would just love to be conquered. The buildings in my domain are coming along nicely, and we're up to over 23 gold per month, including expenses. I just did a feast, a hunt, and then a funeral, and that was enough to bring me over 5000 prestige. It will take 6 years for the culture to adopt By the Sword. This time is based on how big a culture is, and since mine is only in a small area, it's pretty quick. I took a few more small counties, but I've mostly just continued to upgrade my domain. There's a few more expenses than before, but I'm still making almost 30 gold a month now.
Hello, I like money.
I also think it's about time for a military upgrade. I filled our heavy infantry units out, and added some pikemen, which will counter camel cavalry, since basically everyone around here has some camels. The tradition isn't complete yet, but that won't stop us from declaring our first holy war. I've chosen to attack the Arabian Empire for the Kingdom of Mesopotamia. I mean, what are they gonna do? Their leader is a baby. I'm so glad we have onagers now, as these sieges are going by much faster. The enemy army has finally arrived. By Allah's will, We shall prevail. Holy shit. I don't see any troops running away. And that confirms it. Our battle of 5,000 fully stack wiped their army of 4,000. We lost 32 men and they lost 4,242. In one battle, we destroyed their entire army. So the rest of the war was a cakewalk and we won the war scot-free. We now control the entire kingdom of Mesopotamia, and that was only one holy war. We no longer look completely outsized by our neighbors. We also have control over the House of Wisdom, which has like a ton of good effects. Plus 15% lifestyle experience and plus 10% tech research speed are the important ones we want. This building is making me want to play a Mesopotamia game. I'm feeling pretty confident after beating the Arabian Empire, so I'm just going to declare war on all these guys at the same time. The war's just started, but I unlocked manorialism, and for my duchy building I'll be constructing the Royal Reserves, which just gives lots of gold, and increases development growth even more. The rebellion just started, and I gotta say, I'm not liking the odds here. I've completed 2 out of 3 of the aggressive wars, but I think the rebellion is more important to focus on. The game thinks we will probably lose this battle, but I'm not so sure. There we go. That's over half the rebellion gone, so the rest should be easy. I've won all our aggressive wars and the rebellion, but it looks like by doing that I picked up another one, but it should be easy. And there's another rebellion. Oh my god, that's a lot of men again. To leave them in error would be a cruelty. Better they die in truth than live in falsehood. If I'm able to get small groups like this, the war should be easy. The enemy didn't group up, so I can just clean up all the other armies. More peasants saved from their inferior ways. I'm going for battlements next so that I can upgrade my castles and buildings. I might want to get household soldiers after that for the military strength that would provide. Our By the Sword tradition will be completed in only 16 more months. In the meantime, I will continue attacking these smaller nations. It's just too easy for us. The tradition is completed, so there's only one right thing to do. We've invaded our western neighbor, so now it's time for the Macron to the east to feel our wrath. On top of our standard military, we also have a holy order that we can call at any time, since we might be the only remaining Azrakism state left. I'm not sure why, but I can only find these 1,000 troops who are completely screwed. I have finally spotted the enemy army, and I'm going right for them. We have an incredible commander to help us crush the non-believers, so we convincingly won. Here's another army that belongs to our enemy's ally that had no chance to win. One more castle, and we'll finish the war. There we go. We've now proved the wrath of our god a second time. Our nation is looking quite strong, wouldn't you say? The absolute best part about playing with a clan government is this house unity system. If you do actions to help your family members, it will boost you up to the harmonious unity level. The most important effect is this top one, the succession law. It makes it so the player heir gets like the majority of the titles, which is absolutely fantastic and solves most inheritance problems. It's been a while since I've mentioned our domain, but I've all but fully maxed out every barony with the building levels we currently have unlocked. It hasn't even been a year since the last Holy War, but I think the nation is ready. Look at all that land we will get if we win. They're running away, so they clearly don't have much confidence. They're avoiding me, so I'm just taking their capital. We took the castle and their leader, so we've won the war. Now that's looking like an empire. Fear not, as we have saved you. Here we have the decision to bring back the Persian Empire, something we have dreamed about since we took the throne as a mere child. We will get the Empire of Persia title. We will get an army of 2,500 undying men-at-arms units. We will get glory for ourselves and for our dynasty. We will mass convert the Iranian people to the one true faith of Azrakism. The Iranian people will flock to join our banners as we unite the Persians under one flag. We have ended the Iranian intermezzo. We may have united the Iranian people, but now we must bring glory to Azrakism by laying claim to all 5 holy sites. I don't think I've ever had this much renown at one time. I was able to unlock the remaining 3 legacies under the law branch, and I still had enough to get the first level of Erudition. I was able to vassalize a few neighbors, so now my borders are stretching pretty far, but obviously we can keep going. Right after I deal with these populist uprisings. I was just spreading out my armies attacking different groups of troops when I kinda just accidentally captured the enemy war leader, ending the rebellion before I had a chance to grow. Now that the rebellion is over, it's time to conquer those holy sites. If we take this kingdom of Arabia, we'll control 3 right off the bat. They're weaker than they were earlier, so it should be another easy victory. It looks like they are currently in a rebellion as well, so they are super screwed. I finally found my way to the capital, and now I can take it for myself. The only fight of the war, and we easily won against a smaller force. The Kingdom of Arabia is now mine as well. We're now only missing Jerusalem and Tadmor. Tadmor is held by the small duchy with a mere 1,000 troops, and they are already at war, so it should be easy to claim this holy site. The Asharis are rebelling, and they have a lot of troops, significantly more than us, but I must not falter in my belief. I've raised all my men, but I have no idea where to go. If I'm going to have any chance at shutting down the rebels, I will need to strategically split up my armies. I'm also ignoring the aggressive war. I'll deal with that later. I have all my different armies splitting up to hunt down the traitors. There's so much micromanaging to do, everything is just so confusing. I keep winning battles, but it doesn't seem to matter. The peasant uprising is at negative 68%, and it keeps rising. There's a large group of 14,000 men attacking the countryside in the north part of my realm, and I'm going to send some troops over to meet them in the battlefield. The war is at negative 78%, and I'm terrified of it hitting 100. The peasants have no organization and are actively starving themselves. Normally I would wait for the whole army to get here, but the enemy is literally just starving to death. We absolutely demolished the starving rebels, but the war is still raging and we're still technically losing. There's another large stack of 10,000 men here that we can attack. They are also starving themselves. We've defeated the heathens! The uprising is no more, so I'm going to disband these armies. I still need to take the holy site that I declared war on earlier, so I'm moving my strongest army over to attack them once again. I thought the Ashari heretics were defeated, but I underestimated their tenacity. Another 30,000 peasants are rising up against me. The enemy war leader is over here, so I will raise all my troops next to him. Oh shit, okay, I fucked up. My nation is so big that my troops are taking an entire year to gather, and during that time, the rebels have started attacking my individual unprepared armies. Oh god, everyone is dying. This is really bad. And now the peasants are running away? What? The rebels are proposing a white peace, and there can only be one reason. They must have accepted the true faith that I have brought to them, because, I'm losing this war. With the rebellions done, it was easy to take the city of Tadmor. Now the only holy site left is the city of Jerusalem, probably the most famous of any holy site in the entire world. If you're wondering why so many uprisings are occurring, the answer is in our religion. The religion is fundamentalist, and one of the effects of a fundamentalist religion is that other faiths are more likely to join factions. The battlements tech finished, and I'm now upgrading all my castles and temples to level 2. This will let us upgrade buildings to level 4 instead of the current cap at level 2. We're currently making 54 gold of profit per month, so let's just say we're pretty rich. Jerusalem is controlled by the Iranian Empire, but at this point I've destroyed them so much that they only have 1,000 troops. So as crazy as this is, the last war might be the easiest. We have so many men, it looks like a crusade, but it's only us. So many castles falling into our control. No challenge at all, and we now control Jerusalem. We've taken down Ashari as the main Islamic faith, and we now control every Ezraki holy site. I'm wondering just how much money we can make if we continue to upgrade these buildings. We're all the way up to 76. And it's finally happening. The gates of heaven have opened for us to enter, and as holy a life Imam lived, she deserves to enter freely. Pretty soon after taking office as the new guy, the people wanted freedom. The only freedom I will give is the freedom of death. And now the Christians are invading Jerusalem. I defeated the rebellion, but the Christians are landing in Jerusalem, and my armies are so far away. I finally made it, and the battle is coming. The Muslims have never faced such a tragic defeat. What rises by the sword will one day fall to it. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and maybe even check out these other videos.